The last kind of section I want to talk about today is this idea of potential and where you're going in your life. Right? We all have this meaningful potential, something that we could be doing. And most of the time, the only thing that's really standing in our way of reaching that potential is ourselves. Right? We become the barrier. This is where the name Floodgate, the name of the company, has come from. I wanted to share a little bit about that story and that vision. It was years ago I had this picture in mind of a dam with a floodgate. And the water was being held back, the floodgates were closed, and all of the land below the dam had become dry and parched. And there was not a lot of life in that land below. The riverbed was low, the riverbed was dry, there was not really a lot of life there. And then when the floodgate was opened and the water began to flow again, it brought life back to the land. And the vegetation started to grow again, and the fish returned to the river, and all of the vibrancy of life was taking place again because the floodgate was opened and the life began to flow again. And so, with this kind of imagery in mind, this is where the name Floodgate came from. And so, I wanted to relate that a little bit to finding meaning and purpose. The first area is this idea of the floodgate itself. And essentially, like I said, that is you standing in your own way. The Buddha said, you are your own master. You make your own future. So you get to choose what your life is going to look like. You get to choose how you're going to respond to those circumstances that are outside of your control, because you are the one that's writing your own story. And so this makes you responsible for your own choices. You get to choose between good and evil. You get to choose between trustworthiness or betrayal. You choose between whether you're going to have a life characterized by growth or a life that stagnates. You get to choose between structure and chaos. You get to choose between courage and fear. Right? These are all your choices, and you're responsible for them. You're also responsible for disciplining yourself to pursue a goal. You get to choose the goals that you're going to pursue in your life. And in those goals, we should be looking at things like excellence. You are the only one that can discipline yourself towards excellence. You have to discipline yourself towards integrity. You discipline yourself towards authenticity and towards sacrifice and hard work. These are the things that you get to choose to do, that you are responsible for disciplining yourself to. You are also responsible to hold yourself accountable. So you become accountable to yourself first, and then to others. You are accountable to the other people in your life, especially the people that are close. You are also accountable for society, or to society. We look at the greater common good, and how are you being responsible and being accountable to make sure that this bigger, greater society is benefiting from your life. You are responsible and you hold yourself accountable also to a higher power. Whether you see that higher power as being God or the universe or nature or however you view that, it's still your responsibility. You're also responsible to share in the duties and the burdens of others. So sharing in the duties and the burdens of your family. When your family is hurting, when somebody in your family needs help, you're responsible to get out there and help them. When you see someone in your community that needs help, it's your responsibility to share in those duties and in those burdens, and also to your country and to society and even to the planet. And so when we look at what it means to have a meaningful, fulfilled life, some of the biggest things that get in our way is our own stuff. Those barriers might include things like negative beliefs about yourself. It might be your lack of goals. If your life is not meaning what you want it to be, if it's not fulfilled the way that you want it to be, Maybe it's your goals that you need to look at. Maybe you have fear or insecurity or a lack of motivation. Right? We need to take a look. What are our motivations? What's getting us up in the morning? Maybe it's a lack of commitment. Maybe you have, great ideas and you have great goals and you're feeling secure, but you're just not committed to it. You're just not motivated to it. Or maybe you need some support. Maybe you need to ask others to support you in those things. And as we begin to identify some of these barriers, then we're able to start taking some action to change. We can't change those things unless we know what they are. And so this is opening that floodgate to your awesome potential. And that means working to remove those barriers. And we do that through embracing who we are, embracing the awesomeness of who we are, the awesomeness of connection, embracing how important that connection with others is, and the awesomeness of your meaning and purpose. And so this takes time and it takes effort, and it is not a quick solution. One of the biggest reasons why people go to counseling and to therapy is because they want change. Too often we expect it to be a quick change. It's kind of like a Band-Aid solution. And then, it makes a change for a little while, and before long, people are right back to where they were because they didn't make the commitment to really making the change. So, like I said, this is a transformational process, and that's not quick. And this is really why I've designed my programs, is to help people learn how to dig into these three areas, the three pillars, and to start building themselves a foundation that can be resilient so that they can start living the life according to the real potential that they actually have. We want people to stop just going through the motions of everyday life, get out of survival mode, and really start thriving and fully engaging in life.